what's up? This is Chosen, and this video is going to be a champion guide for the Void Legendary Little Miss Annie, so let's get into it. Alrighty, so first things first, as always, for my champion guides, down in a pinned comment right there at the top, nice and easy to find, I will have a link to this infographic where I put the general information about the champion and the masteries that you will be seeing used in this video. But I do always like to point out that you never want to blindly copy masteries on a website or a YouTube video. You want to build the champion for what you are using it for on your account. Just use that as a starting point / template, but that'll be down below if you want to pull that up and take a look. I also want to take a second to shout out my good friend Phoenix Nation, who was lucky enough to pull Little Miss Annie and let me take the account here for a test spin for a few hours, play around and get some testing on her so I can get this video out to you guys and let you know what I kind of think about Little Miss Annie after testing her for a while. So yeah, thank you, Phoenix. I appreciate you. And now let's go ahead and dive into the base stats and the kit here about Little Miss Annie. So I don't know when you're watching this video, but Little Miss Annie was released in correlation with Halloween of 2020. And the base stats here, the HP is pretty good. She's kind of a DPS glass cannon type champion, scaling with attack main stat. So 17.8k on the HP is perfectly fine. The base attack of 1600 is really pretty good for an attack champion, so that's definitely a plus. And then the base defense is expected to be low because, I mean, look at her. She's one of the most frail looking champions in the game, so obviously the base defense is going to be pretty low. The crit rate is normal. Crit damage, she has the higher version of the 2 base crit damages that they give to champions, so to be expected because she is a damage dealer. The resistance and accuracy, 30 resistance, 0 accuracy. I'm okay with the resistance of 30. I wish she would have had at least 10 or 20 accuracy because she is a Void Legendary that requires accuracy. So I would have thrown her 10 or 20 there, but the base stats are pretty much what you would expect. The base speed of 102 and everything like that is kind of par for the course on what I would think that Annie's base stats would be. But yeah, as we dive into Annie as a champion, first of all, the aesthetics. They did a really good job on the aesthetics here in releasing her around Halloween. She is definitely freaky looking. I know dolls are always really freaky, and just the design of her frailty and the bending of her bones and everything that Raid always does an amazing job with the aesthetics, and this is no different. Annie is definitely a pretty cool champion aesthetically to release around Halloween. So now I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think at the time of her release, she's the only champion with 6 abilities here, like 6 ability slots, the 3 abilities, the 2 passives, and the aura. So she's got the 2 rows of 3 here. So, or I guess that's 2 columns, the 2 vertical columns of 3. So very interesting. I think she's the first one to have the 6 slots here for abilities. And then it's going to get a little bit wordy with Annie, but I'm going to walk you through the whole kit here. We've got the A1 that is a triple hitter, and each hit has a 50% chance that we can book up to 75 of placing a 100% heal reduction debuff for 2 turns. The A2 is going to be attack 1 enemy 2 times. Place a 50% increased attack buff on this champion for 2 turns before attacking if the target's under a shield buff. So she can be really good at busting down those arena shields, or maybe even like the magic keep or something, crank out a bunch of DPS versus anything that's going to have a shield on it. We'll ignore 25% of the target's defense as well if they are under a shield buff, so it's just going to hit that extra amount harder to help you chew through that shield. And then she will place a perfect veil on this champion for 2 turns if she gets a kill. Fill the champion's turn meter by 30% if the attack does not kill the target. So I do like when they do that, especially for legendaries, to give them some guaranteed value. It's kind of like an and or, well, not an and or, but it's like a one or the other type of thing. So you're guaranteed to get kind of an ancillary effect there on the value. If she gets a kill, she gets this. If she doesn't get a kill, she gets this. That helps you get some consistent value out of a champion in terms of like not needing a special thing to proc in order to extract something. And then for the A3, we've got Playdate. Attacks 1 enemy will ignore 25% of the target's defense if the target has higher defense than this champion. Guys, that's going to happen almost every single time she hits something because look at her base defense. You're not going to be stacking defense on Annie, so that part of it is going to happen almost every time. Decrease targets max HP by 25% of the damage inflicted if the target has higher max HP than this champion. That won't be as common as the defense because you do need a little bit of HP on her, and her base HP is a lot better than her base defense. but it doesn't really matter because decreasing max HP of 25% damage isn't that big of a deal. I mean, it does help in those longer battles, and it synergizes with her heal reduction in the arena, and it can help you. For sure, you can get some value out of it sometimes, but that won't be as consistent value as the ignoring defense if their defense is higher than hers. And then we'll repeat this attack a second time if the target has both higher defense and higher max HP than this champion. And from my testing and seeing her in action, Playdate hits really hard. You can basically, especially if you're hitting those qualifiers, which are pretty common and easy to do, she can basically just be a priority target sniper and kill whoever she wants. This Playdate hits super hard, and it hits way harder than her A2 and her A3. When you hit those qualifiers, she can basically kill whoever she wants. Then the passive here is going to be when revived. Well, I should clarify, the toys don't die because she has two passives. When revived, attacks the enemy that killed this champion, so it's kind of a little bit of a retaliation there. When she gets killed, she gets revived. She's going to go ahead and attack whoever killed her with her default skill. Then also fill the champion's turn meter by 25% and place a shield buff on this champion equal to 50% of their max HP. Now, you can run into problems with this. I'm going to show you a little bit, a little clip here. Like, she does this in a weird order, so she can actually freeze herself versus Torments. Like, she gets killed, she gets revived, and before she counterattacks them, she fills her turn meter and places a shield, which can cause her to freeze herself against Torment and never actually do the counterattack. So let me show you here the clip of that happening. Boom, the Skull Crown kills her. And then you'll go ahead and see she gets revived, and when she goes to counterattack, she's going to freeze herself right there. Now that's what I call an antifreeze. Stop it, guys. You're too kind. Stop it. I'm trying to record this video here. All right? Just, come on. So yeah, just be wary of that. She can actually freeze herself if you're going up against a Torment because of the rotation of this, and that's something they could probably tweak a little bit so that she's not freezing herself. Torment has caused that problem in terms of the order of operations for people's abilities and kind of screwing themselves over against Torments and freezing themselves and not actually getting their abilities off. They've had to fix that with a few different champions, and maybe an opportunity to tweak this a little bit to kind of help her out a little bit against Torments. Then we've got Magical Heart passive at number 2. Each hit has a 50% chance of decreasing the target's turn meter by 5% and a 100% chance of decreasing target's max HP by 5% of damage inflicted when she attacks somebody under a heal reduction debuff. Also heals the champion by 5% of the damage inflicted when attacking enemies under heal reduction debuffs. Will not heal from damage inflicted from Masteries, so it's not going to also get the bonus from like a War Master or something on that passive. And then she has an aura of increased ally attack in all battles by 3%. So yeah, a pretty a lot to digest there and a lot to kind of explain. The main takeaways that I have on her kit is the two passives and lots of different values to go ahead and snag in a battle. And then this Playdate hits really hard. It's definitely her best hitting ability out of how hard her A1 and A2 are going to hit. Playdate hits way harder, and you'll see that when I kind of show her in action. But now let's go ahead and head on over to the gearing, booking, and masteries, all that type of stuff. So here is the Little Miss Annie that I've got built on this account for Phoenix. And first of all, I will go ahead and show you the base stats in case you want to compare it to an Annie that you're building on your account or something. The 35.8 HP, the 5,000 attack, the 1700 defense, speed of 215, crit rate of 89. That's an opportunity to improve. You definitely want her to be 100% crit. I put her in crit damage gloves like you'll see, and I couldn't quite get it to be perfect, but that's definitely an opportunity to improve the build. You want her at 100% crit rate. 256 crit damage is pretty solid, and then the 187 resistance and 260 accuracy. You do need accuracy on her because she does place debuffs and lower turn meters, so it's always nice to get a little bit of accuracy on her. So that leads us into the gear and the banner being an accuracy. Then you're looking for your best blend of stats, basically attack and HP, defense, whatever you can get on there, some speed. This is a really great banner for Annie. Then Amulet's almost always going to be crit damage. She is a tank buster, DPS, glass cannon damage dealer, so you definitely want crit damage. You want to synergize this with your gloves. They're going to be either crit rate or crit damage. The ring is going to be your best blend of attack, defense, and HP. And then the boots are typically going to be speed. I guess you could argue you could go attack percent on her in the right team, in the right scenario, but I think speed is going to be the route to go because she's mainly an attack champion for the arena that isn't very good in the clan boss. So getting in the opportunity to make attack percent boots is going to be a little bit more rare than normal. Then we've got the chest is typically going to be attack percentage with your typical DPS stats below. And then gloves, you're going to want crit damage gloves as long as you can get enough crit rate on her to make it worth it. You want to at least get like to like 90%. So if you can make that happen, go for it. If not, go for crit rate gloves. And then the top ones are pretty self-explanatory. I'll show you them just in case you are curious. But you're looking for your best blend of those damage dealing stats on her because you really want her to hit hard and get a lot of value that way. Then we will go into the booking process. So what does she take? I had it on the infographic. I think it was like 13. Yeah, 13 books. Okay, so we've got the A1 that takes 4 plus 4 is 8. And plus 5 is 13, and the passives don't take any books. So, yeah, 13, a little on the expensive side, but they've been releasing champions that take like 15 or 16. So, hopefully, that's a trend in the right direction. I don't think they should go above 11 or 12 legendary books with how hard they are to get. But in terms of booking her, you can save books on the A1. It's just buff chance for heal reduction. Now, she does have some of her kit that synergizes with heal reduction, so it's not as bad as normal for like the buff chance on heal reduction. You definitely want to get, if you're going to be booking her and investing in her and using her on your account in the arena as a damage dealer for you, she's not bad, so you can justify doing the books at least for the cooldowns. And if you're really trying to build her budget, you can argue that it wouldn't be a bad idea to save the books here on the buff chance for heal reduction if you have good enough RNG to be in a position to do so. And then for the masteries, remember, I do have the infographic down below if you want to pull them up and take a look. You're not really going to be using her in the clan boss, so I think this is a pretty generally good setup for her. If you're struggling to get the accuracy up and you're worried about getting the value out of the synergizing with the heal reduction and stuff, you can go down the support tree. But this is not bad either. You get the counter attack for the arena, and I think Helm Smasher is great on her because she's already ignoring some defense, so we can go ahead and stack that effect and ignore a bunch of defense. So that's why I went with the Helm Smasher there. And I guess you can't even really see that, so I gotta use the Veil Cloak here. So yeah, that's the Helm Smasher mastery there that I went with. So okay, now let me go ahead and show you some footage from some of the arena battles that I was doing. And what I did was I played with her for a while, and then I just kind of cut up some of the footage to show you here in the video. So okay, in terms, so you can kind of see her in action while I'm kind of having a casual conversation about my thoughts on playing with her in the arena. I think she's gonna shine as like the featured damage dealer of a defensive team that has a reviver on it, because she gets a little bit more value than normal when revive. There you see the playdate ability that's gonna hit super hard. It's definitely her hardest hitting ability. If I slam into somebody here with the playdate, boom, you can see there the 100,000. We just go ahead and snipe down the arbiter. But yeah, I think she's gonna synergize well with revivers because she's gonna go ahead and do that counterattack on whoever killed her and get a little bit more value than normal out of revivers. And with her being a single target sniper, she's not really gonna fit super well into a nuke strategy. Like you see a lot of these teams that try to go first. You do your turn meter booster, then your debuffer, whatever you do, and then your nuker, which is typically somebody like a Skull Crown or a Trunda, somebody with some AoE ability to wipe the battlefield. She doesn't have that. She doesn't have any AoE damage. She's really a priority target sniper that hits really hard with playdate and gets a little bit of extra value from being revived. So I think you could build a more defensive style team and feature her as your only DPS because she's got the heal reduction and she can keep kind of snowballing and synergizing in a long battle. She lowers max HP. So I think that's kind of her niche, is being the sole damage dealer of kind of a defensive revive type team. It's kind of my first impressions of her in using her in the higher tiers of Gold 4 in the arena. But I'll show you a couple battles here. So here we've got the Torment, and any team that's going second, Torment and Mountain King are going to be good assets there because they can really help CC and shield you to keep you alive. And Raglan works great with her. Actually, it's funny, Raglan almost works perfectly with her because remember, her passive when she gets revived, it gives her 25% turn meter. Well, Raglan revives with 75% turn meter, so you get that that cute little synergy there that I kind of noticed when I was playing around with her here. You get the 75% from Raglan, the 25% from her passive when she gets revived, so it synergized there, and you saw that in the tournament clip. Her turn meter was full, and then she placed the shield and froze herself and didn't end up actually doing her ability. So there we go, and this one should be pretty easy. And then I'll probably show you like one more here. Ooh, okay, so this one's gonna be a Sathalia counterattack tournament revive team. So this is kind of an example of a higher ranked tough fight that you would kind of see here. That was decent RNG on the tournament freezes. You can provoke. Raglan's not bad against provoke because she can actually get some value still by doing her A1 turn meter boosting. And we get more turn meter boosting there. And then Annie's gonna take a turn. There's your A1. You can see how hard that hits against a Tormund. And this Annie, as you saw on the base stats, or not the base stats, but the total stats, she's geared pretty good. There's the 106,000 play date. So yeah, that's really her priority ability in terms of sniping whoever you're really trying to kill there. So it hits way harder than the other abilities. Mountain King, and now they don't have revive, so it's just kind of a slow squeeze after that. There's the A1 hitting the Martyr. That Martyr has a ton of defense. There we go. That one hit a little bit harder. But yeah, it's going to be tough to do a lot of damage versus that Martyr. There's the A1s hitting. Okay, it was about, what, 16 or 17k total, and then those ones hit a lot harder. So yeah, that's just kind of some fights in the arena. I played around with her for like an hour or two in the arena, and then I just cut up a couple battles that I thought would be fun to kind of show in the video. And then I'll also just quickly show you her farming 12-3, so you can get a feel for how hard she hits compared to like your campaign farmers and how that kind of goes. So yeah, she can be a campaign farmer. You're not going to use her as that because she doesn't have any AoE. She could technically be okay in clearing campaign content in terms of 3-starring it, as long as you bring a reviver, because she does synergize pretty well with revivers and getting that little bit of extra value out of that. But yeah, not going to be a great campaign farmer. I just wanted to show you this so you can kind of see her damage numbers in the campaign, because it's a common spot that people usually watch a lot of the numbers. So there is that, in case you were curious. And now let's go ahead and get her graded in the different areas of the game live here. So yeah, only 32 reviews. I can't talk. Only 32 reviews. We are going to be the 33rd. So arena offense, gosh, I'll give her a 5. She's not going to be quite as good on arena defense. I'll go 4 there. Campaign, not great, but serviceable. We'll go with a 3. Faction wars, undead, that undead boss is going to be hard to keep her alive there, but she does pair well with being revived if you've got a gore grab or something. She's void, and she can really be a good... I'll give her a 5, barely, but yeah, okay. Then the dragon, sure, she's a good DPSer. We'll give her 5. Fire Knight is actually probably her best dungeon in terms of synergy with her kit, because remember, she's got the heal reduction and she's got the triple hit A1. So yeah, we'll go ahead and give her a 5 there in the Fire Knight. Void Keep, she's gonna be fine. Magic Keep, she does hit extra hard versus shields, but she doesn't like remove the buff or anything, so I'll give her a 4. Minotaur, she's fine. Damage dealer. The heal reduction doesn't work in the spider, and she's really only a single target that doesn't decrease speed or do anything special in terms of a mechanic you would want in the spider. So yeah, not gonna be good. We'll give her a 2. Clan boss, also you almost don't want the heal reduction that she places, because it's gonna take up a debuff slot, and those are very crucial because you only get 10 of them in the clan boss. And decrease max HP does nothing. So yeah, not great in the clan boss. I'm gonna give her a 2. Force Keep, she ignores defense, which is really good, and she could be a decent farmer there. Sure, I'll give her a 5. Spirit Keep, she does do the max HP stuff, which I guess if you're in the mid game or early to mid game could be helpful. I'll give her a 4. And then in the Ice Golem, synergizing with Revive can come in handy versus the Reflect damage, and she can be a pretty solid Void Affinity damage dealer. Yeah, I'll barely give her a 5. It's like a 4, 4.5. I'll give her the benefit of the doubt and give her a 5. So yeah, let's get that submitted, and there we go. We are the 33rd person to rank Little Miss Annie. So, all right, in conclusion, I'll pop up the infographic while I'm kind of talking about her here. I think she's a pretty cool champion. I think they got it mostly right. I think she's gonna be solid / decent without being like game breaking broken. I think there's like 23 24 void legendaries. She's probably right in the middle, around in that like 11 to 13 tier of being like an average void legendary. She's not one of the trash ones. Like in terms of being a damage dealer, like Baron, she's way better than Baron. Has a lot more utility than his kind of abilities in terms of being a glass cannon damage dealer. So yeah, she's not one of the worst void legendaries. She's not one of the best. She's not Siphi, Krisk, anything like that. She doesn't bring the general utility to account progression like a Venus or something. But yeah, she is what she is. She's all right. She's a tank buster, glass cannon DPSer that works well with revivers and can bring you some pretty decent utility in the Fire Knight and some special situations, while being pretty bad in the clan boss, and can also do pretty well in the arena for certain comps. So yeah, let me know what you think down in the comments. I always enjoy hearing your inputs on especially new champions to really help me get a grasp of them and get them ranked as accurately as I can on the tier list. So yeah, as always, thank you for watching. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.